I just don't like it there. Stuck on the tools, but a bit of a hidden reason. Hey legends, James here from TradieVA. This is the Time Rich Tradie, the show that helps you scale your trades business without living on site, living on email, or living in stress. If you want a business that runs smoother without running you into the ground, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. So I don't like it there. In our builder group each week, everybody brings what their biggest challenge is. And one of our builders in the group said point blank, I know my value is better in the office. I know that. I just don't like it. And he put it out there. That was his challenge he was working through. I should be in the office. And he put it out to the group and they're going, oh, have you let go to people? Have you got a site supervisor? Is it the trust issue? And it was going around the room and nothing was gelling. I said, okay, tell me about what you said better in the office. What does that mean? And he goes, I've got a desk in my living room at the moment. His site ran better without him. When he was there, all he did was he would answer questions, get stuck on the phone, but none of it was actually moving it forward any more than it would have if he wasn't there. It was more annoying than anything else. The actual reason he wasn't at home is because he simply didn't like it. We're trades builders, we're out on site because it's an environment that we enjoyed. Whether it's working with our hands, sure, but we were enjoying it. And at some point, and probably while you're listening to this, you're making that decision. I'm a business owner with a construction business as opposed to a builder. And a lot of people are here because of that, I guess, that drive. So if that is the case, why aren't you working on the business, not in it? And essentially, we're going to talk about this one hidden reason, which is literally the physical place where you do that good work, where as a business owner, you are driving the most value, selling, building, working on your business, even at client sites, potentially doing quotes, but not on the tools. It's actually about your office. And so we're going to talk about what that might look like. And it was something that actually one of my coaches said fairly early on in the piece, which he goes, your office should be the best room in your house. Now, we're talking specifically about a house right now. And I know you've got smaller businesses here where they do work at home, others that have a warehouse. And essentially you can use these same concepts regardless, right? Which is you shouldn't be your bedroom. You're asleep for most of the time if you're in your bedroom, right? But where you work, where you drive the value for your entire family and household, where your mindset depicts all your outcomes. And so if that is the case, if you're going to look at what the number one driver of everything you do in your world, it might actually come back to this one thing, your office, where it is you work. I've got one builder who solved it very easily. He's got an office, that he's got people in. He's got a home, so he would get distracted, get pulled in all these directions. So he decided to get himself a camper van, and that's where he works out of. He drives it to the side of the beach, and he works there. And as far as he's concerned, best room in the house. And he works out of that. It's a place he enjoys. And because of that, he can focus, he gets stuff done. He creates that barrier between him and the team so that he can essentially empower and activate their leadership and their initiative by not just being there and being the easy answer, but he created that so that he would enjoy being there. If it was his home, again, that's not a place he's going to particularly want to enjoy. He didn't have the space. That was where it is. Ask yourself, what does that space look like? If you invested in that space, the same as you invest in your marketing, the $80,000, $100,000 a year you're paying your talent to do the work, you invested in that space the same way you invested in everything else, what would that look like? For me, when I heard that, it hit home. It hit hard because I literally was in the basement. I had no windows. It was quiet. It was dark and pokey. And it was where I was meant to be the most creative and the most engaged, and where my mindset drove everything about what I did. And I took him seriously, this coach. And I was like, okay, what is the best room in the house? Now, unfortunately for me, we've got a second kitchen. It ended up being that. So where I'm sitting at the moment is actually because it had sunlight out there, it had space. I knocked it down and turned it into my office. And that was for me. And I've seen this happen. I've got quite a few clients who've done the exact same thing in their houses, and I've been there, houses have that room, and you walk in and you want to be there. And so what does that look like? If your environment, your office feels like punishment, guess what? You'll subconsciously choose anything but the high leverage work that grows the business. You will subconsciously choose to be on site, wasting time and doing that low leverage work, and you don't even know it. But you're never going to want to be where you don't want to be. We know that your head knows the value is in the estimates, the strategy, the approvals, creating new systems. We know your heart still misses the sawdust, the site banter, the movement. So create a space that allows you to bring yourself back to that value. Because it was something that was said on the call yesterday too, which is that one thing that brings me back is the fact that I know that's where my highest value is. And it's true. But you can know that in your head. How are you going to know that in your heart? And I know it sounds a bit woo, but that's where it is. That's where you drive change. So let's make it a space you love being. Let's fix that. Make the office work for you, not against you. And it's funny, I was just reminiscing about what actually came from this is, he said, I left school at 14, never thought I'd be behind a computer. So that's where it started. If that's the case, make the office feel like it's not. Get a standing desk, get plants, make it open, put a glass door like I've got over here so that you just don't feel trapped. Make sure that transition from your tools to leadership, from tools to your team isn't just practical, it's emotional. It's a shift in identity. You run a country, you manage a team, you're a business owner that happens to have a construction or trade business. You can shift that identity, not just in your mind, but in your heart and soul, and you love it and you love where that is. You'll keep sneaking back to site. You'll keep feeling uncomfortable in your chair. You'll keep defaulting to low leverage tasks or even just doom scrolling just to feel like you're doing something. And I know it's hard. Another builder said, if I'm not in my office, the work just piles up. And I know that it's stress. In the office, there is stuff piled up. So if that's the mind, then clean the office. Remove anything that doesn't need to be there. Again, it's a subconscious thing. There might be work to do, but don't make the environment feel like that. It's not that it's needed. It's just that it doesn't feel right. So make it feel right. So don't jam in the corner of a room. It's not a boring afterthought that reminds you of school detention. I'm sure quite a few of you, like me, were in there, especially because half of us are ADHD with attention span problems. If that's what it feels like, you're going to procrastinate. You're going to procrastinate your quoting. It's going to fall over. You're going to procrastinate reviewing systems and they're never going to upgrade. You're not going to check in and do quality control with your VA or your other talent. You're not going to do planning for the future. Can you imagine that all this tied to this one hidden little gem? Get your office right. I don't think this is a complex thing. Find the best room in the house, work it out. And if not, find somewhere else. If it's a shared workspace, if every one of your situations is going to be different, the number one thing that was going to drive your business, where would it be and how would it feel? And it ain't the living room. It ain't a Netflix zone. Spend the money. Drop it like it was an investment. If your vision's represented by your space you work, that's where you're going to move towards. So legends, if your office feels like punishment, of course you're going to avoid it. And if you avoid it, you are not going to move the direction you want to go. You're going to go back to where you were. You're not a business owner. You are the owner. So design a space that makes you want to step up and not step out. Build an office that makes you envision a better you, a better business, and want to make it happen. So you know what we do. We systemize it, optimize it, delegate it, and that's how you scale it. If you've been into an office of someone, a friend of yours who needs to hear this message, not just you, send it to them. Subscribe, get more juice, and I'll catch you next time on the Time Rich Tradie. See ya.